I kind of like trying to work everything not in full frame equivalencies now, but in GFX equivalencies. So I used to shoot everything at f16 on my GFX, and I think that's around about f9 on this camera. So let's get to work.
During the meanwhilest... No.
Well, hello, it's Dexter and me back in one of our favourite places, back at Craigenose Country Park. And I've come out this evening, I say evening, late afternoon, early evening, in the middle of September, to take the first picture with my new to me Fujifilm X-T2 camera. The park is really quiet. It's the day of HM Queen's funeral, so I think technically it's shut, but we parked outside and walked in. I'm heading now for a lake in the park, not the one right by the car park, but another one, to take a picture. It's going to get a bit darker in a minute as I go under this cover. Let's see if I can work this ND, variable ND, to make it a bit lighter. I think that's about as light as I can get it. Right, I'm not sure if the eye detect will work now. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to this lake. Spotted it. We came here yesterday, actually, yesterday afternoon. And it's like a lot of leaves have fallen and gathered at the shoreline. And I'm hoping, I took a picture with my phone yesterday, I'll pop that up now. I'm hoping it's going to make for a really nice picture. There's no light at all, it is just grey. So I was going to wait until like later on tonight to come, like for sunset or whatever, but then I figured, the light's not going to get any better, so let's get out and do it now. One of the reasons for wanting to come out, as well as it being quiet, is the fact that it's dead still. It's very, very calm, and therefore there are no ripples on the lake at all. Right, I'm going to stop filming now because my arm's going to fall off. Has just spotted a squirrel. Where do you go, boy? Where do you go then? I think you're going to find him in there. Come on then, let's go. Out of there now, come on. Come on. Out.
Get tangled.
Out, you're going to get tangled up in it. Come on. This is the rhododendron tunnel I've photographed dozens of times. It's lovely in spring when it's covered in rhododendron blooms, and then when they drop to the floor it makes for a really, really nice image. I missed it this year though, if you remember. I think I put a video out. If not, I'll if I have, I'll put a link to it up now. And it's at the end of this tunnel that there's a lake I want to photograph. Only not from this end. I want to go to the far end of it. In fact, we could go through this field actually. Yeah, so at the end of this field there's a little set of steps, and up those steps is the lake I want to photograph. Now it's an autumn shot really, when the trees have turned, you know, and they go in the oranges and browns. They're like slightly on the turn now. There are some yellows in with the greens, so it might make a half decent image. But I'm hoping there's still a lot of fallen leaves on the water, and that's going to be my foreground, leading into a long shot of the lake. Right, well, here we are. This is the lake that I want to take a picture of, and there it is, full of leaves. And what they call skates, is it? Pond skates on the surface. Or, you know, duck food. Yeah, this is the shot. Yesterday the leaves are a bit closer to the shoreline. But I think we're going to have a decent shot. What I'll do, I'll pop you up on my other tripod in a minute. And I need to set up, but this is going to be, you know, the ultra wide angle, get down as low as I can to the leaves, polarize it to get rid of the glare on the water, and have as little of the sky as possible in the scene. Give this a month, 6 weeks, and it's going to be a lovely shot, I think. But then these leaves might not be on the surface in a month or 6 weeks time. Anyway, let's get set up. Right, well, I want to set up low down, as low as I can get, and as close as I can get to these leaves. They're going to be like the major, you know, first third really of the image. Real kind of like intense foreground interest, and then obviously leading out then into the middle part of the lake, and then the trees beyond. I don't really want much of the sky in my image, so we'll see what I get. But I'm going to set up now. Yeah, X-T2 10-24 f4 lens, polarizer, a robin. Polarizer, and probably f9, like an f16, and if you like GFX equivalent. I kind of like trying to work everything not in full frame equivalencies now, but in GFX equivalencies. So I used to shoot everything at f16 on my GFX, and I think that's around about f9 on this camera. So let's get to work. Okay, I'm zoomed into 14 mil, so like a 21 mil full frame equivalent, or what would that be then? 28 on the GFX. I don't know. I have to stop thinking in those sorts of terms now. I'm going to fire off a test shot. I'm going to go to F9, ISO 200, which is native ISO on this camera, 2-second timer, and I'm going to focus on the closest leaves. As I said, 2-second timer, take the shot. Right. Let's just have a little look at that. A little look and a check. Make sure I've nailed focus. That looks pretty sharp, back to front. So let's put the polarizer on. The water is like a mill pond. It is so calm. It's lovely. Right. Would be nice if we did have a little bit of light, and if we did have a little bit of light, then we would have some nicer reflections on the water, as well as some light in the sky. But there we are, kind of everything. We've got dead still, dead calm waters. Right, let's get this sorted. I'll put my 72 to 77 millimeter step up ring on. circular polarizer. Where are you? There we go. And fingerprints on that. Right, from last time I used it. Right, there's the back of the camera, and that's full polarization, and that's no polarization. So what I'll do is I'll take a couple of shots that fully polarized and then with no polarization, and a number of steps in between, and see which I prefer later on. Where are we? Right, with that, I think we're done. Just a case now of getting these back home and onto the computer and see which one I prefer. What a lovely evening. Right, well here we are back home after our little trip to Craigenose Country Park with my Fujifilm X-T2 for its first proper landscape outing. I've done some test shots with it before to make sure it's working properly and everything's hunky-dory with it, and it is. Yeah, so last night was our first trip out. Now the image it's a nothing image, it's not a keeper, it's not a portfolio image. It's just a shot of the lake at Craigenose Park before the autumn colours change. It will make for a much nicer scene, I think, give it about a month, 5-6 weeks time, when all the leaves have started to sort of change colour and whatnot. I think it will be a much nicer scene. Of course then I may not have the benefit of that lovely leafy foreground. Who knows? You don't know. I may not have the benefit of a lovely calm evening. Who knows? But hopefully when I do go back there in a few weeks time, and I go there a lot. Let's be honest. I virtually, it's my second home, Craigenose Country Park. So I will know when conditions are prime for a decent shot. Anyway, enough of the actual image itself. That's by the by. It was all about the experience last night, and it reminded me of when I first got my X-T2, when I replaced my drowned D800 with it, and I went out. And alright, it was a little bit different because I'm sort of well versed now in the Fujifilm way of doing things, but back then I wasn't, and also it was a very small camera at the time. It felt like I was shooting with a toy camera, and that feeling kind of came back last night, only without the fear of it actually proving to be the case when you looked at the image quality later. Yeah, it was a lot smaller. I got to be honest, I packed my bag. I carried it to the lake from the car. Lisa, bless her, had to carry it back for me, and Bethan carried my video kit because by the time I'd walked there I wasn't feeling very well, yeah, it was a struggle to walk back. Yeah, so but what got me, what hit me straight away when I put the backpack on my back was how light it was. I honestly thought I'd forgotten to pack my camera and lenses. I took with me obviously the X-T2, the 10-24 and the 50-140. I had no intentions of using the 50-140 last night. I just needed to take it with me to put it in my bag, see how it felt. And yeah, my bag felt about a half the weight that it did with the GFX kit, and that is the whole point behind downsizing, was to have that benefit of much much lighter kit without losing too much in the way of image quality. I gotta be honest, I was quite surprised when I got back and put the image up on screen. 24 megapixels at looking at it at 200%. Not a great deal of difference between that and GFX 100 images in the sort of resolution and clarity stakes. Really, really surprised. So when it comes to, you know, posting stuff on the internet and printing stuff that A3 plus, you know, 13 by 19 inches as I do, I'm not going to notice. I'm not going to notice any difference at all, I don't think. But like I say, where I am going to notice a difference is in the weight on my back. One thing I felt so rotten walking back to the car though after that shoot. I had these horrible thoughts of that day when I will have to give up. You know, taking photographs, and the way I felt last night, it ain't that far off. But let's not dwell on things like that. This is a happy occasion. I'm happy with my X-T2 and the much smaller and lighter kit that it now affords me. Right, that's all from Dexter and me. No outro music today because there's only the one image to have a look at, and you've seen that already. So stay safe, stay well, look after yourselves, your loved ones, look after your little pets, look after your lightweight camera equipment, and it'll look after you. And let's all be nice, is it? In these difficult times, these testing times, let's all be nice to each other. Okay, take care, bye-bye.